Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk with Michelle. How are you guys doing today? I hope everyone is well. Um, I don't know how my voice sounds today. I feel like I'm going into some deeper voice of mine again, working out more, and my voice has been changing. I'm going to hop right into the episode. Today, I pulled tarot along with this episode, and I pulled the Eight of Swords reversed. So the Eight of Swords card is kind of like a difficult situation card. The woman in the card is blindfolded and she's standing in water and it's not deep, but she has no way to tell if, how deep the water is or how deep it's not, or if it's not deep at all. And she's surrounded by eight swords. And this card, energy wise, I really feel like, again, a lot of us, most of us, some of us have kind of been put in really tight, interesting situations, and they seem really hard to get out of. And we kind of get in these modes with ourselves where we're like, everything is so bad, like nothing is going to be good. I can't believe I got myself into this situation. And we want to try to escape it. And we can't just always try to escape out of situations that we have in our life. We really need to try to deal with them. And you really, also, the card calls for you to pay attention to who's around you and where you're going because you're blindfolded, because you're kind of seeing like a little bit in a haze right now. So you really do need to start paying attention to the things that you're doing, because they're probably putting you in these situations that you feel like you can't escape and get out of. And you're going to experience some losses from it. And it could be, a loss of a job or, a friend or a family member. And I don't mean like losses and death or anything like that. But the loss is just really because you weren't paying attention, like you weren't seeing clearly. So again, the Eight of Swords reverse just calls for us to really tune our energy back to self, to pay attention to who we're around, to pay attention to where we're going and the things that we do, because eventually we do get called to those situations. And I can attest to this card a lot, because a lot of my actions in the past did really put me in predicaments that I'm having to work myself out of now. So I'm definitely being more mindful of who I'm hanging around, the things that I say and the energy that I put out into the world, because I don't want negative things around me. I don't want to go back through another karmic cycle, because I really went through a whole lot of that. What goes around comes around energy. And I don't want to keep reaping those things. And this is not calling you for a drastic change. Dump everybody. Don't talk to anybody anymore. I'm drastic, so I did those things. But I want to start to put better energy out there. And I think we can all do that. And if you kind of are going through an Eight of Swords situation, I would advise you just kind of stay inside and really do some personal thinking and try to figure out how you can get out of that energy. Before I move on with the quote, I want to take a second and let us hear from our sponsors. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so I was not necessarily looking for quotes. I pop on YouTube every now and then to watch different videos before I start working. I have all my morning rituals and everything before I sit down to do the podcast. And I came across a page, and I don't remember, but it's like, it was giving celebrities laws to success. And I ended up clicking on Pharrell after watching a few of them. And Pharrell's quote was, "Nothing is a perception." And when I say nothing, I mean the word nothing is a perception. So that quote struck me a lot, because Pharrell gave an analogy, and his analogy was just like, over here in America, we're always saying like, I need, like, we might have like a lot of things, but we feel like we still don't have anything. And so he was saying, you start kind of feeling lowly because you're saying, I don't have enough things in my life, or why can I have these things, or why can I have these things, instead of focusing on what you do have. And he's saying you can go to another country where someone's living in a hut and they can go outside and they can just see sunlight and they're extremely happy. And you can be like, well, you don't have the latest something, or you don't have these shoes. And that person would argue you up and down because they don't live in that mind state that they don't have enough, or they feel like exactly where they are is where they should be. And I really feel like we could lend ourselves a little helping hand and just say, I do have the things that I need. And this quote really plays into, just like I said, I talk to a lot of friends and I always ask them for advice, or I try to see like kind of what's going on with them. I do some morning check-ins. If I maybe talked to somebody the day before and they were feeling down, and we kind of talked through what was making them feel that way. And the next day I always hit them up like, good morning, like, how are you? Are you feeling a little better? And just kind of leaving it to them to kind of say whatever they want to say. And we're all going through this very interesting shift. And I really noticed that everyone around me is really working on themselves and trying to figure out, where is it that we've been going astray? And I always try to tell my friends or coworkers or other people that there's so much in every day that we can realize that we can come like out of these moments, and also like trying to tap into like what's making us feel this way, because we all have so much. Like Pharrell said, nothing is a perception, because we have so many blessings and so many things around us that we really can tap into. And I mean, I wake up every day and I look around me and I'm amazed, because all these things are here because I put my mind into getting them, because I work hard, because I do things. So like, anytime you give me something, a gift, no matter how small or how big, or, you cook for me or you do something for me, I'm ever so grateful for those things, because it really does like put me in a mind state of pure abundance. And I lead everybody into just really remembering that you have all the things that you need. And if you desire more, then, get to work. That's all I can say, is just really, really get to work. And I feel like that leads right into the call to gratitude. So today, my call to gratitude, every day I wake up, I light my incense and I say 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I'll give you one today. Today, like I said, I woke up. Today I was grateful for my home and waking up and seeing the skyline. I used to live in the suburbs and I was really all around trees and I loved it. It was the right time for that and the season for that in my life. So I loved it. I loved hearing the birds and I loved going outside. I didn't like going outside and seeing the deer, but I did go outside and see deer around my patio. Promptly run back in the house, but still, nevertheless, I don't get to see that all the time. And when I moved, after my divorce, I moved into the city and I was very specific about where I wanted to live. I know I've talked about that before. I was very specific about needing sunlight, because I lived somewhere, not at the suburbs, but in another spot that I did not have sunlight. Like I didn't get any, like none. Okay. I used to go and sit in my car just so I could feel the sun on my skin. Okay. It was a very difficult time in my life. But when I moved, I said, I feel like the leasing agent was like, this girl is bananas, because I was like, all right, so I need sunlight. I want windows. I want the sun coming in and I want to look at whatever view I have. And the view that I have is wonderful. You can see it from my bedroom. I keep my windows up. I don't really, I keep my blinds up. I don't ever really close them. If you're creepy, don't be trying to figure out where I live. I leave my windows open and I can see the Capitol. I live in Nashville and I can see the Batman building, which is a pretty cool building here. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I was led to be in this place, and it makes me so happy to have this home where I feel nurtured, where I work out of, where my animals feel comfortable, where I cook and I treat it with so much care because it's a blessing to me to have it and to be able to sustain it and live in it. I'm so grateful for that. And every morning when I roll over, I say that I'm grateful for my shelter. And my guest gratitude is going to be for my friend Nicole, who listens to Real Talk with Michelle all the time. I love you, Nicole. Thank you so much. And Nicole said she's grateful for her home and her car. And I know sometimes we're just like, we can simplify things so much, which is what I love because we don't have to have grandiose big things that we're thankful for, but those actually are grandiose big things. And it's her shelter and her mode of transportation. This is how she feels comfortable in her home, I'm imagining, and as well as, having a vehicle to get her to and from places. So that's a really great one. So I want to call you guys to gratitude. I want you to email me at Real Talk with Michelle and send me what you're grateful for. Tell me. I know, getting people to participate is super hard, but I would really love it. Friends, if you want to do it again, you can send me something. But thank you so much. Every day that you wake up, find a reason to feel grateful. Find something in your world that can light it up. And if you're feeling down or you're kind of in your head, I also watched Eckhart Tolle, and he was saying how to bring yourself back into the present, what to do. And I was trying to tell my friend this the other day. It's very hard to type, but he said, just take a moment and say, now, and then say now, say now again. So you would say now, you pause for a moment, and then you say now again. And he asked the question, he said, what were you thinking about in between the first now and the second now? And nothing. There's no way that you could be thinking about anything else except right then in the moment when you know that you're going to get ready to say now again. And I call you guys to practice that. I do it all the time. I live in my brain. My boyfriend knows that. My family knows that. Friends know that. I can go down a whole rabbit hole with my brain thoughts. And sometimes it's good. It's good. It's intuition. It's paying attention. And I'm like, well, anticipating situations. But sometimes it's not good at all. So I call you to just do what Eckhart Tolle did. Just go now. Now. And I bet you're right back where you started in your present moment. And be grateful that you know how to do that. Be grateful that you know how to bring yourself back to a present moment. Pay attention, be mindful, show up, be aware. Again, I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in to listen to this episode of Real Talk with Michelle. I'm calling you to gratitude. Please email me at realtalkwithmichelle@gmail.com. You can leave me questions, but I'd love to hear what you're grateful for. Again, thanks for tuning in to Real Talk with Michelle, and I'll talk to you later this week. Hey guys, a few quick things before we go. You can now listen to Real Talk with Michelle on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts, and Radio Public. Make sure you rate, subscribe, and review. You can also listen to Real Talk with Michelle on YouTube, and that's the page, Real Talk with Michelle. Make sure you subscribe there as well and hit the notification button so you can know every time I post an episode. You don't want to miss it. You can like the Facebook page, Real Talk with Michelle, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Dreamshell, and that's DREAMCHELLE to kind of get a little more in depth with me and follow me around and kind of see what I do on a daily. Make sure you email me those gratitudes at realtalkwithmichelle@gmail.com or any other questions that you have. And you can also leave me a voice note in Anchor. I love those. Thank you so much for leaving those. And if you want to support Real Talk with Michelle, you can visit anchor.fm. That's anchor.fm/Real Talk with Michelle /support and help sustain future episodes. Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk with Michelle.